the outside wall.
He's going to pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's going to get them all done with. What amazing.
Racely to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is going to touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save.
Looks to the outside as Trunkgate goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though.
Slide left of the racetrack. Chris Renner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the Paravolca. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cut back here. Get the run out the Paravolca. That's beautifully done there. Michael Schumacher, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Good evening, hello and welcome to SimSpeed TV. This is the LeBLANC Australian Online Supercar Championship, round number 14. We're at Montreal for 150 kilometres of racing and not long to go in this championship fight. My name is Jay Kennedy, alongside me as always for our awesome Friday night broadcast, Fonty, Scott Fountain. Fonty, it's going to be an awesome night of racing. We've got a special guest here with us as well, but tonight's going to be some good fun racing. We saw at V8 Scops how fun this track was. 150Ks is going to be epic.
Oh, yes, you're exactly right, Jay. Welcome, everybody, here to SimSpeed TV for another fantastic Friday night of V8 Supercar racing. Last week, we're at Sebring. I absolutely love Sebring, and, well, it certainly turned it on. We saw some great battles, and I'm sure it is going to continue on here tonight in Montreal. But, yes, we do have a special guest with us, and hopefully he enjoys himself tonight, and we'd like to see him back in the future as well, and that is Ross Rizzo. Welcome to the box, Ross.
Thanks, Fonty. Thanks, Jay. Yeah, loving being here. Love the series as a competitor and a spectator. The breadth and depth of talent, the atmosphere, the formats, the broadcast. What's not?
It's an awesome series, and we've loved being a part of it. And on screen, because we don't have too long left in qualifying, it's scooted by very, very quickly tonight. But overall championship on screen, you're sitting actually in 4th. There, Ross, you might lose that tonight, though. But Brett Loxton leading the way from Jordan Ross with Kyle Stokes in 3rd position. The championship fight is going to come right down to the wire with 2 more Enduros to go and 2 more standard rounds of racing to go. It's going to be pretty tight coming into these last 3 rounds, isn't it, Ross?
Oh, for sure. And let's not forget we've got the overall, we've got the standard, we've got the endurance, and the TTL Academy Challenge as well, waiting to be wrapped up at the 650.
Of course, that's Bathurst not too far away in 4 weeks' time, but on screen there is the overall. We'll go to the Teams Championship, which is pretty close as well. KRF Motorsports now leading the way. Brett Loxton leading that team from the front throughout this series as well, and it's going to be a close fight as well with Zuva Racing, Watercraft Zuva Racing and Redback Racing Team as well as Synergy Sim Racing, all very, very close as well. TTL Driver Academy Challenge is still very tight as well. Mitchell Bale still leading the way from Chris Robinson and Bradley Ratu. And that one is fairly close as well. And lastly, we go to the Non-Endurance Championship, which also sees Brett Loxton leading the way with a fairly decent lead. Almost 400 points, over 400 points. And it's going to be very, very tough for him to lose that one now with only 2 rounds to go.
But there's definitely plenty of room for a shake-up with the last couple of rounds that we've got coming up, especially tonight. We saw a huge shake-up in the Scops Endurance Cup, needless. So I think tonight will be no different.
Drivers are out on track for qualifying as well. Sorry, Fonty.
No, you're right, man. I was going to say, yeah, it's going to. This has been such an awesome championship. We've loved being part of it. This is obviously our first season taking this on, and yeah, it's been such great racing. Last week I was on the edge of my seat, and yeah, Sebring's great, and I'm sure we're going to see some fantastic battles going on tonight. I'm sure that Loxton, he will want to have a good championship here, and one person who has been very quick lately and driving very well, Harley Haber, he is sitting in P3 currently, and yeah, not too far away from Jordan Ross, so I'm thinking that it's going to be hard for the drivers, or I don't know if anyone's going to improve their time now with only 50 seconds to go, but I'll tell you what, this race is going to be fantastic.
It's going to be an awesome race tonight as we get ready to get going. Hayward, a little bit of trouble with Taliancic just ahead. Taliancic's still very quick as well. The field's fairly close, probably not as close as we would normally see at the top of the field, but the rest of the field is very, very tight from say 12th back or even 10th back. It's pretty tight in that mid-pack, and it's going to put on some awesome racing as we get into the main event. So the checkered flag is about to come out, and we'll get drivers on their final laps right now. So Haber comes across the line. It looks like he might be about to start a flying lap.
Is he going to make it?
He's past the line, so that's a
oh, yes,
start.
there we go.
Yeah, and the checkered
there we
flag
go,
is
that
out
is a
now.
good start. It helps.
You do need to make it ahead of the line in time.
You certainly do. He's getting a tow, but is he going to be held up?
Very good chance that he will get.
There we go. He's going to get let by.
Apologies for couple of issues just trying to fix at the moment. Joe, get vision back in just a second. But Haber has really come a long way in the last few weeks. Ever since he's joined Redback Racing Team, he's gone from being a bit of a loose cannon to being very, very controlled, methodical, and actually thinking very logically about his racing.
Oh, you're exactly right, Jay. I can't, you know, give him enough praise. We've seen him come a long way. He was a little bit of a mobile chicane, and you know, I think that Mark over at Redback Racing has done a fantastic job, and just shows the professionalism of that team and really what Mark's trying to achieve. So, yeah, well done to Harley. We saw a very, very close battle. I think it was on Monday between himself and Jackson Harlow. Now, these guys, both young guys, going at it. I really did not expect them to cross the finish line with all, you know, with the car all intact, and you know, they were really the star of the night. So, you know, well done to Harley on improving his driving style and kind of keeping a cool head. And you know, if he can continue to do that, then he's going to win championships. So, yeah, well done to him.
Didn't finish the lap, wasn't going to improve on his time, so he backed out of it. Also, Taliantic just crossed the line for the final time. Will not improve. Jaden Borg out on track, but he will not make it across the line to set a lap time. So we are done for qualifying. Didn't get to see many flying laps tonight, but I think we're going to be in for a very, very interesting show when we get into our race. Of course, there is a safety car throughout this event as well. The starting grid is as follows, with Brett Loxton on pole. Not far behind, though. Jordan Ross very, very close. Only 0.05 of a second. Harley Haber in third, with Kyle Stokes in fourth position. Michael Hammond in fifth. Stevie Ansett sixth, with Henry King and Mitchell Bales seventh and eighth. And the fifth row of the grid, Jamie McKnight and David Kidman.
There we go. Then we go back to Michael Taliancic in 11th, David Stamford in 12th. Christopher Kessie, big shout out to him. He's from the Flat Chat podcast. As I'm just lost my results on screen, but hold on, give me 1 second. I will get them back up.
Scott O'Keefe next in 14th. I'll help you out, mate.
There we go. Thanks. There we go. 15th. I'm back on. Scott O'Keefe in 14th. Daniel Williams in 15th. Matthew Dare in 16th. Jacob Knight 17th. Stephen Varga, he's sitting back in P18. I think he'll certainly come up the grid a little bit. Adam Gardner 19th, and Mark Samuel in 20th.
21st, we got Sean Thompson, then Jaden Borg, Matthew Kidd, Daniel Stevens, Damian Johnstone, Danny Vassell, Wayne Pendley, Corey Ott. We saw him tear through the field at Scop, so watch him from 28th. Gavin Cox in 29th, and rounding out the top 30, Tony.
And the last couple of rows on the grid, Jonathan Ben in 31st, with Chris Barnes in 32nd. Shane Evans and Eric Thorpe 33rd and 34th, with David Miller, Simon Mazzomo, Mark Dial, Daniel Leet, Jamie Stovold, Josh Nowak, and Jake Maloney. Our 41 car field tonight. Pit window from around about. Yeah, it's a long way back.
For Nowak, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Nowak's a little bit further. I don't know if he got a qualifying lap in. I didn't see or not. He did, but he's certainly he's probably at Jay Kennedy pace, I reckon, down in the 149s. So, you know, I think we'll see him come through.
Didn't take long, did it?
Hey, you know, it's Friday night, mate. We've got to have some fun.
I was going to say, we've got to actually watch. He's very, very underrated. Of course, won the Majors series in the Pacific region, the toughest series on iRacing, and won so many of those races. Very, very competitive in the V8. Underrates himself. He will be one to watch from the back of the field, but Loxton versus Ross versus Haber versus Stokes is going to be very, very interesting at the front. The revs rise, we're getting ready to go. Here we go.
This is a hard track. I can't wait to see it. I'm sure we're going to see some carnage. If you start a trouble, you're going to do well. And we are underway. Great start there from Loxton. He's got a great jump. Haber now the inside line. Are they going to be able to get through turn one cleanly? That is the biggest question.
Looks fairly clean for the most part of the start here, which is good to see. Loxton leading the field down into turn two. Hammond, almost contact between Hammond and Haber. Very, very close.
Yes, there, great start there from Brett Loxton. He wants to have a good result here. Taliancic, he's going to be around. Are we going to see a big pile up here? Or potentially not. Well done to everybody to get through that. That was, yeah, fantastic. I didn't expect it to end that, but not a great start there for Taliancic. But Loxton, on the other hand, yeah, that was
possibly a little bit of contact there between
there
Taliantic
was.
and I've got another car around. It's Varga.
Oh, Varga. Here we go. Varga has been turned coming into the S. Not sure who turned him there.
Western Mazda replay both incidents and try and pick up what's happened. Go back to the incident with Taliantic first.
Go.
And try and work it out.
Yeah, I think he got tagged in the back and it lightened the rear up, and he had kind of no control and then jumped back on the gas a bit too hard, and then before you know it, it's a bit of a bottle effect.
It's Scott O'Keefe that made contact there. And hard to say if he's done anything wrong. Also seeing on timing screen that Mitchell Bales is around as well. Now let's see what's happened to Stephen Varga. Side by side with Daniel Williams. And I'm wondering if there was actually a fair bit of contact between these two here coming into the second chicane, or third chicane I should say. Oh, don't know if Williams has done anything wrong there. It just looks like that car went a little bit over to the right. Another one of those situations where we're glad we're not in race control, but Loxton has checked out because what has happened to our second place starter, Jordan Ross, has dropped back to 9th.
Yeah.
Steve Jansen trying to put pressure on Jamie McKnight. Will he be able to get the move done? No, backs out of it, so McKnight in 6th. But try and find out what's happened to the car of Jordan Ross. We're not sure exactly.
Looks like he's overcooked the hairpin at the back end of the straight. It looks like he's also clearing the slowdown at the same time. So a lap 1 slowdown would have absolutely hurt his opening lap.
Almost right into the back of David Sanford too, who's the newest signing at All-Star Motorsports. So good to see him out on track.
I'll tell you who is driving well, and he'll be happy with his pace so far. That's Christopher Casey sitting in P10. He's come a long way, and to be running in the top 10 in this field. Oh,
there's
we go.
The commentator's curse.
Oh, I am so sorry, Chris. I'm so sorry. You can blame that all on me, mate.
Hammond through on Henry King, so Hammond up to 4th. Henry King was 4th. Start of that lap, now drops back to 5th. And King has a slowdown, I'm guessing from the chicane. That's going to hurt. Still slowing
there's
now.
Nothing more frustrating than a slowdown. And look at all of these cars just running by.
Taliantic dropping back through the field. He's got Daniel Stevens side by side. Almost contact between Taliantic and Stevens. Stevens almost in the wall. Matthew Kidd trying to get the run now.
Track. Such a difficult track. Any mistake. Oh, sorry, Ross.
Yes, yeah, it looks like Taliance is definitely nursing a wounded car. That car looks very beat up, and he'll be looking to wait till the pit window to open, get a fast repair on it, and hopefully get back on strategy, as he's known to do.
This guy's a 4 wide down the back straight. You got Maloney, Ott, Pendley also trying to come through. Pendley trying to get a move done. You got
Where did Jake Maloney come from?
Oh, he's going to bang it in there. He's going to hang on the outside. Oh, this is such a hard part of the circuit. Tell you what, this is they're not taking it easy, are they?
Oh, big lockup coming into the chicane, just holds on side by side with Wayne Pengilly. Does hold on, but Pengilly through. Also got Chris Barnes, who has left the circuit. Looks like he might be race over. Battle at the front is almost over at the front, but we're going to stay with this battle in the mid-pack because here comes Maloney looking to have a big late lunge, not able to do it yet. Not a bad start for Maloney, 41st into 23rd in 3 laps. That's pretty good.
Oh, that's insane, mate. That's insane. So, yeah, it's such a difficult track. Obviously, street circuits are hard in themselves. We see in the real vet Supercars Adelaide, you know, if you start a trouble and if you keep it off the wall, you're going to do it right. So, big moment for Ott there.
Whoa! Vassal in the wall! 97 car in the fence, just trying to get past Corey Ott and put on the power a little bit too aggressively. That's bang hard in the wall. And he's going to have to limp it back to the pit. It's going to be a tough ask to get it back to the pits without causing too many issues.
tell you what, that
Going back up the field. Jamie McKnight and Steve Jansen.
There we go, these two going at it. Jamie McKnight, we were fortunate enough to meet him when we were in Sydney in late September, and really good guy, huge supporter of what we do here at SimSpeed. I nearly said that.
You nearly said it. Oh, Corey, we've also got David Sanford out of the race as well. We're going to get 2 West End Mazda replays here. Sanford is out of the race, and Corey Ott is also facing the wrong direction. Replay on screen now. See what's happened to Sanford. But has he done this one all on his own? He's just blown it up. Sanford out. Let's see what's happened to Ott. And he's just bounced it off the curb and around he's gone.
Here we go. So, oh, let's say another car off as well. A Penrite car.
Jaden Borg. That's a strange spot to be facing the wrong direction too.
Yeah, probably just jumped on the gas. You need to be so... Oh, there we go. So, it's come together.
Oh, that's heavy contact with him and Kessie.
It is heavy contact. Kessie was obviously, we saw him loop it only a lap ago, and yeah, Borg will be struggling. Look at that car come down pit lane. He's crabbing all sorts of business.
Go back to the front again, because Jansen's doing a great job here on Jamie McKnight. I wouldn't be surprised if he can get this move done in a couple of laps.
Yeah, well, the most interesting thing, Joe, is when these guys are going to stop, and you know, this track is so hard on tyres. Who's going to do that undercut and try and, you know, get their way up there? And we will see if the safety car at some point. So that's always going to throw things in the mix as well.
This track's also very heavy on fuel, so the pit window is actually a lot smaller than we used.
Yeah, only I think a 10-lap window, lap 12 to lap 22 roughly is the pit window. So guys like Taliancic can come in at that point and maybe stretch it and get it home. Maybe even like a lap 11, stretch it home, especially with the damage that he's carrying. If he can come in and get some damage fixed as well, he could find himself in a good spot depending on when that safety car does come out.
Yeah, so pretty full field to be racing around this track. The other cars that is going all right is Harley Haber. He is losing ground though to Brett Loxton, who is super fast at the moment, over half a second faster than second place. He's stretched out to a 2.2 second lead at the moment, which is pretty phenomenal.
The next fastest driver though at the moment is actually Jordan Ross. He's closed up on the back of this battle and it's turning into a true 3-car fight at the moment. So just seeing two, Matthew Deere. It's Deere blown up, almost contact between he and Taliancic.
That was close, to tell you what. No, I don't think he is blown up, but he's got some serious damage.
He's driving the Holden Cruise. Let's see if we can pick up what's happened here. Another West End Mazda replay. West End Mazda getting their money's worth tonight.
There we go, West End Mazda.
Has he been helped here? No, just all by himself. Oh! Two big moments and... Oh! I think I was out of Gardner.
From a driver's perspective there, Ross, what's this track like? Myself and Joe, we don't drive. We're pretty hopeless at it. So, you know, this track is...
No comment.
Yeah, this track is just deceptively difficult. There's so much that can go wrong in a single braking zone, let alone a lap, let alone a 150k race. So it's probably a really mental circuit as much as it is physical, just trying to make sure you avoid the slowdowns and nail the traction zones to get decent lap times and try and get a run on cars around. So it's difficult to make positions. However, I've seen Jacob Nye currently in 8th, up from 17th, so he's had no trouble with that so far.
Oh, big slide for Steve Jansen as he gets the power on, trying to get a run. He's worried about Jordan Ross behind now. He was trying to get the move done on McKnight, and Jordan Ross has closed up a very big amount very quickly. Have a look at how wild it is for Jordan Ross. A big sideways moment coming through the chute between the two chicanes.
Yeah, that was pretty big, wasn't it? Jordan Ross, he's trying to get past these guys now. You know, with a safety car that's potentially going to come out, it's going to help him, but he wants to try and get these moves done and keep that car in reasonable nick on the way through, which is so hard to do. You can see he's already got a bit of damage on that left-hand front, so keeping it off these walls is such a hard task, and to get past 2 cars, which is slightly slower than you. 2 guys in front of Jordan Ross are great drivers, but yeah, I'm sure Jordan will want to get this move done reasonably soon because he's got 13 seconds up the road to catch up Brett Loxton.
Tough ask to close that much, but the big thing in his favour is just seeing Daniel Stevens is off the track. Strange spot to be as well. I think a few guys are just getting caught out with the lack of grip here tonight as Janssen closes up on the back of it. I love how these guys bounce it off the curbs this circuit. Jordan Ross, well and truly there as Hammond's had a slowdown, so these guys are all going to come past 3 wide down the front straight.
No way.
Janssen's going to go through.
Bad.
6
Oh,
to 4,
here we
then here comes
go.
Ross.
Oh, there's going to be contact. And Jamie McKnight's going to get a door there. Oh, has he sustained damage from that? He'll be frustrated. Jordan, I think he was a little bit desperate to try and make that move, to be honest.
It's a bit ambitious from Jordan Ross to throw it up in there to try and get the 2 at once as well. Good job from Janssen to get through. Get a Western Mazda replay now as Hammond's still having his slowdown at the moment and actually gone back past McKnight. Replay on screen. Oh, it looks like Ross actually knew he wasn't going to pull up for the corner. Actually took to the grass to try and avoid contact. That made it worse, if anything. And a race to forget for Jordan Ross so far.
Yeah, I reckon that McKnight sustained some damage out of that. It'll won't be driving in a straight line, that's for sure. It's a pretty big old whack that Ross gave him there.
Now Hammond has to defend from McKnight and Ross. And this will help Jacob Knight close in. You can see how close he's got. Janssen's checked out ahead of these guys. He's pulled 2.5 seconds already in this lap. Not too far off the pit window opening as well, which will mean that a few of these guys will be very, very eager to come in and get some damage fixed. A large portion of the field with heavy damage in this race. Here comes McKnight to get the move done.
McKnight up the inside. Is he going to be able to pull it up? Oh, there we go. Hammond just running straight through there. He's going to get a huge slowdown from that. There was no chance of pulling it up. Very hard. The corner squares off very quickly there, and McKnight's got the job done. So he wants to try and catch up Janssen again, and he's got 3 seconds to find for that car though.
Here comes Jordan Ross. Going to be able to get the move done, or is he just going to have to sit behind for a little bit longer? He just doesn't quite have the pace at the right spots to get the move done. McKnight looks really strong on corner exit.
Tell you what, who is close as well is Henry King on Mark Samuel. These guys going at it pretty hard. There we go. He's looking, but it's not easy to make a pass run here cleanly. We've seen a few bit of contact already. Oh, look at the big slide there from Henry King.
Of course, he's out of position here because of the slowdown he had earlier in the race. As Jordan Ross has just gone through on Jamie McKnight. So
yep,
that's
there
done.
We go.
But I don't think that's over. I think post-race we'll see a little bit of chatter about that incident there, as we've seen a few incidents over the past couple of weeks. Have a bit of chatter post-race. Always some talking points in these races.
Oh yeah, I just don't get it. Like, you know, why not? What's the chatter for?
Oh, you know, just talking about the incidents and why they've happened and who was involved in things.
Someone's just doored another person, just, you know.
Door it back.
Just door it back.
You can tell that your mates with Shane Banky's fucking.
Oh god, here we go. I'm not going to comment on that at this point in the Supercar season.
Sorry,
we can't comment on that,
No, we're not going to say anything, are we?
It's going to be a great round though. That last round at Newcastle, getting into the real life stuff, it's going to be a great event, and I can't wait to watch it.
Speaking of doing a great job, Jake Maloney is now in 12th.
There we go. So Maloney.
9 laps to 12th.
Yeah, that's not bad. Actually, one person who has come up a little bit up the field is Josh Nowak as well. He started back in P40. He is sitting in P26, so not a bad effort there from Josh.
Yeah, Josh wasn't overly keen on his qualifying performance, but clearly his race pace is shown.
It's a car full of memes, which is the Swift Racing way.
Team full of memes, I think.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything. I'll get in trouble. Jacob Knight, though, big lock-up coming into the chicane there behind Jamie McKnight. I think Knight might have enough room or enough pace to get past. But again, just not quite able to find the spot to do it. McKnight just running slightly offline, using that alternate line, one of my old favourite sayings, just to cover off the corner and cover off any of this passing spots. Very, very smart driving from McKnight. The good thing, well, the interesting thing with Jamie McKnight, he does do that a lot, but it doesn't seem to affect his actual pace. He still laps very, very quick, even running on the alternate line. Battle for second and third is actually...
yeah, it's pretty intense, isn't it?
Second and third is getting very hot between Stokes and Haber. Stokes has closed up last lap by, was a full half-second quicker. If we see that again, it'll be right on the tail of Harley Haber at the end of this lap. So it's going to be quite
Stokes was quicker than race leader Loxton by 0.2 of a second, so he's on a charge right now.
Yeah, it was the fastest driver on track last lap by, the only driver in the 1 minute 36 bracket. 36.0 for Loxton, 37.3. 37.0 for Loxton, 37.3 for Haber, and 36.8 for Stokes. Steve Yanton, a 38.1. So a pretty big difference in pace between those guys. Jordan Ross as well, 37.2. Everyone else in the field is 38s, 39s, 40s, and 41s. So the front of this field is very, very quick in comparison to everyone else. These fast four guys that we've got out there, really in a league of their own at the moment.
I'll tell you what. Oh, sorry, Cross.
Sorry about that one. Yeah, these guys obviously are at the front, very confident off the back of some really good performances, all three of these guys in the official and Scops, and it's really showing. In the mid-pack, it's very difficult to get into a rhythm.
Matthew Kidd as well, battle going on back there, P19. That looks like a pretty close...
Got a move actually there. Matthew Deere and Gavin Cox side by side. I've got Haber and Stokes. Actually, he's already done. So Haber's actually got a slowdown penalty there, and he's had to give up the spot. And Jacob Knight is right on the tail of Jamie McKnight. There's a tongue twister for you boys. Say that quick, that battle.
Yeah, no, I'm not even going to attempt that, mate. I'm no good at that stuff.
Knight and McKnight.
I can barely speak English normally, so...
we do need the translator.
Thompson in the pit lane.
Pit window's open too, lap 12. So this is the interesting point of the race now. Will anyone come in the pits? Of course, you can come in now and get it home, but how bad are your tyres going to be after a 22, 23 lap stint to get it home? I don't know if I'd want to do that.
Oh, another on this track. It's pretty hard, isn't it? It's a
real abrasive track.
I haven't really done too many laps around here myself. It's never, well, I could never really get...
Aren't we the worst two people to try and be experts about different tracks?
Oh, you know, mate, I'm good around, you know, circles, and that's about it, really. Nah. I can steer right around some tracks. I haven't steered for a long time, however. It's closest battle that we have on track at the moment is, yeah, Matthew Deere, Sean Evans, and also Scott O'Keefe and Adam Gardner, those guys going at it. I tell you what, though, Loxton, he is checked out.
4.4 seconds. He's just done a 37.1 fastest car on track that lap by. Getting Stokes lap by about 0.3 of a second. Jordan Ross is the only one that's really able to match at the moment as McKnight struggling to hold on from Jacob Knight. Will Jacob Knight be able to get the move done? Not quite close enough. I think he's just sitting behind ready to pounce, maybe saving a little bit of fuel.
Yeah, potentially. Fuel saving around here is going to help you big time. It's all just going to depend on when this safety car comes out, isn't it?
Oh, McKnight had to check up mid-corner there. And Knight wasn't sure whether to keep the momentum up or get on the brake. Had to get on the brake in the end. It'll allow Michael Hammond now to get into this fight and maybe get a move done. Hammond also looking like he's really struggling for a rear grip as well. These guys are not looking comfortable in the car at the moment.
Yeah, potentially a little bit of damage. Was just struggling with that, and this track is hard enough as it is, so those Dunlops, oh, look at Jamie McKnight, he's hanging it out.
I'm surprised Jamie hasn't come into the pits with the car in the state that it is.
He's probably trying to go as long as he can, maybe get to halfway, or hope that there's an early safety car and he can fit under that and not lose too much. Let's have a look at who is in the lane. Brett locks it in. This is interesting.
And have we missed a pass between Stokes and Haber?
Yeah, Haber got a slowdown on the lap or 2 laps ago, so that's brought that one along. So here comes Knight and McKnight. Knight does get the move done and then straight in the pits, so that was a little bit of a wasted move. Hammond continues on, so Loxton, Jordan Ross and Jacob Knight, Mark Samuel all in the pits.
There we go, so lap 14.
Oh, Hammond, big lock up.
34 laps. It's going to be...
It'll be tough ask on tyres, I think. Not so much fuel, but tyres are going to be so tough by the end of this race.
But in previous 150s, Loxton has been burnt by not hitting before the safety car, so I think he's covered that up.
Hammond's had a failure of some sort. Just saw him go straight ahead and then pull off the circuit. That's strange.
That is strange. You're gutted about that.
He's doing well. He was fighting for top 5, so it's a pretty disappointing way to end the night for him.
Yeah, not the best way to end a night.
Strange. Anyway, we come back live, and Brett Loxton has come out of the pits in 8th position, just ahead of Michael Taliancic. Fresh tyres versus worn tyres. These both won't be feeling too good right at this present moment.
So look at the stop of, so Loxton stopped 20.7. Now Jordan Ross 22.2. So potentially Loxton has slightly short filled, or maybe not. So he had a pretty decent gap out there. But yeah, so I'm interested to see what Haber can respond with.
Jake Maloney is now up into 7th position and about to get a move done for 6th. Well, now 5th and 6th because they've come past Steve Jansen. So could Maloney end up leading before he comes in the pits? That'd be a good drive to come from last to first, but it's definitely possible.
As impressive as it is, this is Jake Maloney in TTL. He is a bit of a star in these things.
He's been around for long enough, hasn't he?
Shouldn't know how to drive. Of course, he won the race here in Vance Scops. Won both races in Vance Scops here a few weeks ago. The Montreal 600. He and Josh Rogers won both races back to back. Were never touched either. They just drove off out on their own, all alone for the whole race.
Yeah, definitely got some form here.
Haber's starting to close back up on Kyle Stokes. We see these two guys come in the lane. Stokes is going to continue on. Haber thought about coming in the pits there, but decided to keep going.
I'll tell you what, Kyle Stokes, he's come such a long way from where we first saw him battling it out in V8 Scop Split 2. And, you know, look at him. He's right up there, right up the front, and you know, him and Harley, I'm guessing they're going to go at it right to the end.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be an interesting fight between these guys as we come up towards...
Oh!
Whoa!
Huge moment
Haber
there for Haber. Wow.
Might have to come in the pits next lap just to get a change of underpants because that was scary. And Stokes has just made a mistake as well.
Oh, here we go.
This is on for
side
the
by
lead.
side. This is, I think Haber's got the run into the next turn. Yes, he does. So, oh, he's going to chop the nose there. Good move there by Haber at the expense of Kyle Stokes. So, these guys going at it, and we've got Kinman. Oh, no, not Kinman, sorry.
It's Daniel Williams just in behind. He's a lap down, though.
Yes.
He's on fresh tyres, trying to get his lap back.
Here we go. Haber's made a mistake now.
Oh, and look at the pack they're about to catch, so I would expect them to be pitting pretty soon.
I think they might both come in now just because of that pack ahead. So no point staying out when you've got that angry pack just ahead that you're going to come on probably in the next lap because of the pace advantage they've got. Here
we go. Here we go. Haber's in. Both of them are in. So yes, I was actually just going to say there, Ross. You know, you guys certainly know how to do pit stops and do pit strategy. When would you pit around sort of this time? You know, what would be your sort of strategy in a race like this?
Sean Thompson's off the track. Sorry, boys.
Just make sure I'd get in before that safety car, but obviously it's still taking its time to show up. So as long as I had the pit stop cleared by now, I'd be pretty happy. I probably would have come in about lap 13, 14 like most of the field did, but be paying the price for tyres. So we'll see how that plays out for them, because obviously the leaders, Stokes, will be on older tyres when they come out and get the field compressed with safety.
Big hit in the wall for Sean Thompson, so he looks like he may be day done. Had already made his pit stop, so unfortunate for Sean Thompson, but that was a very, very heavy hit in the wall. So we come back live. Henry King and David Kinman were about to go at it, but King stayed out. Loxton now, fairly big lead. Taliancic has already pulled 6 seconds on Taliancic. They were nose to tail when Loxton come out of the pits.
Yeah, so I think Loxton, he's, you know, I think to do well around this track, you can't afford to have a bad qualifying. And, you know, he's had a great start there, he's kept out of trouble. I'm interested to see where he finishes in this one. Obviously, he needs to have a good result to continue his lead on. And he's got a pretty remarkable gap to Haber.
Stokes has come out of the pits ahead of Haber, but he's had a 3 second shorter pit stop. So will Stokes have enough fuel? It's going to be interesting to see. He's about 2.5 seconds shorter stop than his teammate in Jordan Ross. So may not be, maybe a totally different strategy being looked at between those two drivers. Of course, Stokes was in the draft of Haber for quite a while. So
yeah,
possibly
exactly.
He's just happy to use that little bit more fuel now in this stint. Going to be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Michael Taliancic finally pits. Oh, and he's timed it perfectly.
Oh, tell you what. That is, that's perfect, isn't it? That's going to work out great in his favour. So, is this going to potentially change the race result?
Find out very soon, because yeah, safety car out at very much the perfect time for Taliancic. A couple other guys might have got caught out by it. They're about to come into the pit lane.
Yeah, it looks like Henry King didn't pit under that. Neither did Gavin Cox, and
Amy Stovald as well has stayed out as well. So a few other guys back in the field that haven't pitted as well. No, I think everyone else has been in the pits. So it's going to be an interesting little phase of the race here as the drivers come around and pick up the safety car. But this plays into Loxton's hands, but it'll probably help Kyle Stokes as well. Now he will be able to save that little bit more fuel that he needs to. So will anyone be able to get Loxton? Sorry, there, Ross.
I was just thinking, unless Henry pits, who's part of the synergy team that Kyle drives for, he might be able to help him out or play a big role in this battle with.
So the racing first safety car should be out on the circuit now, and Henry King will be about to pick that car up. It's just off in the distance, so now going to have 14 green flag laps left at the end. Will Stokes be able to hold on from Harley Haber? Will Jordan Ross be able to get back through and potentially fight with Brett Loxton? It's going to be a really interesting stint. Probably the first 3 or 4 laps after we go green. The big advantage too is Stokes and Haber are going to have fairly new tyres. Loxton now is second car in line, so won't even need to have any wave rounds tonight as well. So he will be leading the field when Henry King does pull into the pits. We're assuming that he's going to pull into the pits. It's almost definite that he would. I don't see any point in him staying out any longer. It would only hurt him long term. Probably going to be hurt fairly badly anyway with how this has played out.
I tell you what, this street circuits always throw it up, don't they? There, you really cannot predict. Yeah, you can really not predict a result because, you know, anything can happen. I certainly hope one day that we see, you know, iRacing scan, you know, Gold Coast or, you know, Clipsal, Adelaide, I should say.
It's always going to be Clipsal.
There's always going to be Clipsal, mate. You know, when you grow up with it being like that all your life, I always call it that. But yeah, street circuits are fantastic. I never had the chance to drive one in real life, but I certainly hope to do that one day.
We pretend we're going over the beach chicane ripple strips every time we're on the Gold Coast. At least when we were a kid anyway, that was fun.
I remember the last time I went up there on holiday, I was doing the same in the rental car.
Henry King has stayed out.
Interesting. Henry's a very, very smart round on strategy, so he must have some idea in his head. I'm thinking he's playing a little bit of team strategy here, maybe trying to hold up the field at the restart to help Jordan Ross come through.
That's what I reckon too. He's, you know, why not? We see team tactics really work, and this at this point in the championship, you know, you got to be there for your teammate.
Well, yeah,
don't forget, Jordan Ross is in a good position as well in P5 and also fighting Brett for the championship.
Yeah, that's right. And I think if Jordan doesn't pick up a really good result here, the championship's going to be all but done. I mean, the non-endurance championship's pretty close to being over as it is. Jordan really needed a good result, but the overall championship is well and truly up for grabs. But Jordan has to finish ahead of Brett to apply the pressure for that championship going forward.
Well, I'm not sure if the drop rounds have been factored in, but remembering Jordan blew the motor while leading at Bathurst, and he's had other similar disasters, while Brett, I think, has been able to get the car home more often than not. So I'm curious if the drop rounds will have an effect on that championship lead that Brett has right.
Yeah, very true, because only 3.5 rounds left in the championship. The championship's flown by. It's amazing to think that we're now in the 14th round. It feels like only a couple of weeks ago we started this championship. And we're not too far off it being all over and getting ready to start the next one. Yeah. We will have the next one here with us on SimSpeed TV next year. We will be back for another season of the Australian Online Supercar Championship next year, which is going to be very, very exciting as well.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Jay. It's been a fantastic series, and you know, we certainly like doing it. I've been in. It's been interesting where I've been commentating from in many different places around Europe and the UK and here in New Zealand. I haven't done it in Aussie, but yeah, certainly from many different locations. I love this championship, and you know, it's quite a enjoyable thing to do on a Friday night.
Lights are out in the iRacing first safety car, so Henry King will control the field. Have a look at Henry King there, and you can see Jordan Ross running a little bit of a different line, trying to work out the gap. They'll be communicating with each other, trying to judge when to go. I wouldn't be surprised they're going to be talking to each other. We'll see Jordan Ross go scooting straight on by Haber and Stokes. They've got to be ready for this because I can see big moves happening right now.
Yep, that's exactly right. This is the way to do it. You communicate to your team, and we're going to see him go. No, he's going to hold back, and then he's going to go. So this is going to work out. Is it going to work in Jordan's favour? Keep an eye on this. So maybe not.
Around the outside. Oh, big lock up.
Oh, he's going to lose it though. That was very desperate. Oh, he's going to hold on to it because he's going to get the drive out of this turn, and he's going to have the inside line into the next one. But Jansen's not going to give up easily. That was very desperate move there for Ross. Now he's under all sorts of pressure.
Nearly hits the wall as well. Of course, he's on 5-lap-old tyres, 6-lap-old tyres. So a little bit more worn. Has it got Loxton? Loxton's around.
What happened there? I tell you what, this has gone from 0 to 100 real quick.
And Haber trying to get a move done on Stokes.
And Jansen trying to defend from McKnight.
I reckon that Loxton's tried to chuck a move on Henry and potentially made a mistake from it.
Maloney's
very
live.
live.
Round 2.
We're going to replay of it in just a moment. Loxton
Around the
trying
outside.
around the outside. Oh, it's not going to work. And a good little bit of driving there from Jordan Ross, just forcing him a little bit wide.
Oh, he's still there though.
He's hanging in there. Is he going to have the inside line for the next turn? No.
It's going to have to be brave.
Has to tuck back in behind here.
No, he's not going to. They're going to go sideways. They're going to go two abreast. No, but he's going to try and in and out him out of the next one, maybe.
Not quite able to
I didn't quite get it.
Going to go back to a
slide
replay.
in the background.
Going to go back to a replay and try and pick up exactly what happened there between Brett Loxton. And was there contact between he and Stokes? There was. So Kyle Stokes was trying to get a move done on Brett Loxton and just had a little bit of contact. So that's what's made that there. Haber has also gone through on Stokes while we were watching that fight between Loxton and Ross. Now Haber and King going at it at the front of the field. Oh no. Too wide through. This bit does not work and Stokes has checked up a little bit.
So King is driving such a defensive line and Haber, I tell you what, that is a fantastic move by Harley there, because he's going to get the run and he's going to get the job done.
And of course, Stokes and King teammates as well. So you just saw a little bit of a tap on the brake from Henry King, giving the signal to Stokes that he's going to let him through. This is going to be a great fight to the finish now between Stokes and Haber, Ross and Loxton. Don't be surprised if Henry King drops back and tries to hold up Brett Loxton. Oh, almost contact between King and Stokes there.
I tell you what, that was teamwork there going on, and now Henry, we will see him coming to the pit lane now, that's for sure. But Kyle Stokes, he wants to get this job done on Harley. But Harley, I tell you what, that was a fantastic overtake there from Harley. He went on the outside, hung in there, and had the inside line for the next one, got the power down, managed to get the job done. So this is not over though, because Loxton and Jordan Ross, they are fighting in the championship.
Almost contact between Stokes and Haber too. This is a great fight going on at the moment.
This is fantastic. This just went from being not that exciting to really exciting, super fast, and we're on lap 23 of 34. So quickly do my maths, probably need my calculator for that, but that's 11 laps.
11 and a half, bro.
11 and a half. Oh, there we go. So I do need a calculator.
Oh, it's a little bit of contact between Haber and Stokes, and this is going to help Jordan Ross, because as we said, Stokes and Ross, teammates, Synergy Sim racing together. Will they be able to work together to get
tell you what,
Jordan Ross in? Maloney's coming in this too.
He is. So Maloney, he went from nowhere to right up there, and what a great race we've got here.
Who knows what's going to happen as well. Henry King actually stayed out again. So he's going to go the full 20. Oh, we thought 22 laps was the pit window. He's about to finish 23.
Tell you what do you do in this situation? Do you try and just bank yourself a decent result, or do you try and hustle it out and potentially cause yourself some damage?
Loxton in the wall!
Wow! How bad was that? I got to go back and have a look at that of Loxton. Here we go. So let's see it here. Jay's throwing us up a replay.
When I worked out how to click the right button, I did.
There we go. Head button clicker here at Sim Speed is Jay, and does a fantastic job. Oh, he's clobbered that one. Is he still driving in a straight line is the next question though.
So the car might be okay. Might have got away with it.
May have got away with it. It certainly climbed that wall a little bit, and I'll tell you who's on the charge now, and that is the man behind Loxton of Jake Maloney. He wants to get in amongst it, and I'll tell you what, if Jake Bloody comes through here and wins this one, he's gonna be happy with that.
Every chance of it. Gap between Maloney and Haber, 1.9 seconds. Last lap by though, Jake Maloney was the fastest car out on track. 0.7 of a second quicker than Haber. So there's every chance of it happening.
Yeah, exactly. So Haber is doing a fantastic job though. He is, honestly, he's come up hugely in my books, and yeah, I'm super impressed. So we're going to see where now 10 laps or 10.5 laps to go. We are going to see a fantastic race all the way to the end.
Another casualty to the list. We've got Christopher Kessie, Steve Jansen, Daniel Williams, Adam Gardner, Chris Barnes, Sean Thompson, Michael Hammond, David Miller, Mitchell Bales, Daniel Stevens, Danny Vassell, and David Stanford are now also added to that list. It's Wayne Pengilly.
Go Wayne Pengilly. There's a bit of a controversy between himself and Jared Filsell at the V8 Scops Bathurst 1000, where there was actually a bit of a coming together between those two. Good to see Wayne out here having a crack tonight.
Here comes Maloney. Loxton might have a little bit of damage from that contact.
Yeah, I reckon he has. If we just want to jump on board with him for a sec, Jay, when we're in a straight line, and we'll see what sort of damage he's got off this driving in a straight line. Oh yeah, potentially that front right hand where he's clobbered it, it will not be driving straight because that car hit at a fair old rate. Oh, this is a great battle here. I'll tell you what, if Loxton does have some damage, he's doing a good job to hang on the back of Ross there. But the dark horse, I reckon, is Maloney in this one.
Every chance he could come through here and pull us an amazing result. Of course, he started last on the grid, didn't even get a qualifying lap in. Didn't get a lap out in practice.
Oh, no, here we go. This is on. So Harley is
way. Stokes around the wrong way. Jordan Ross is through. Here comes Loxton, but Jordan Ross, heavy damage. We'll get a replay very, very soon.
Oh.
So Haber hit the wall and looked like Stokes had nowhere to go. He's out of the race though. He's done.
Oh, Haber is done as well. Look at the car crabbing. This, I tell you what, this is going to be a battle, but this is potentially going to be Maloney's race here. If he can keep it off the wall, he looks to be the only car without any damage here.
It's Maloney's race, unbelievable.
There we go. Why weren't you out there tonight, Ross, mate? Like, we could have had you in amongst the mix too.
Oh, here goes Haber.
No. Haber is done. That's race done for Haber. I tell you what, we got to go back and have a look here and see what happened. Oh, he's done that all himself.
Oh, I just
he's done that all himself. And I tell you what, see, he didn't really hit the wall as hard as what Loxton did, but potentially, you know, anything can happen in these race cars.
I think it was more the contact from Stokes coming around and just banging into his rear wheel that actually gave him all that damage. So Haber is continuing on, but he's going to limp it back to the pits. We come back live. It is on between Jordan Ross and
here we go.
Brett Loxton here.
Championship fight is between these two, and I tell you what, that man in that orange and black car, he wants to win this race. He's not in the hunt for the championship, but he is in the hunt for a win here at Montreal.
Become the Montreal master if he can win this race. I just also heard a car blow up in the background as well. Is that Jamie McKnight that just blew up from 4th position?
Harley Haber. Oh no. McKnight. I think you're right, Jay. I think you were right there, mate. He's back in the pit lane.
Just plucked the backer gear into turn 1 and she's gone kaboom.
I tell you what, that's
this race has gone off. There's still 8 laps to go.
I know.
Just looking at some of the names in the bottom half of the top 5, we've got Kinman, Knight, Varga, Nowak, and Taliancic, and Matthew Kidd. Now look at some of the names that were in trouble early in the race and further back in the pack. That's remarkable to see they've recovered so well.
Maloney plus 38, Kinman plus 6, Knight plus 12, Varga plus 12, Nowak plus 32, Kidd plus 16, and it's on for the lead. Here comes Loxton, and here comes Maloney. Gonna take advantage of the the outside move from Loxton.
Oh, he's going to get it done. Oh, is he going to be able to get the power down? No. Oh, he's going to give him room. Loxton's going to squeeze him wide, but he's not going to be able to get it done. I reckon this is going to be Maloney's line here. It's going to be a drag race into the next turn. We're going to come into the braking zone now, and Loxton's going to hang on there on the outside. Oh, he's going to get it. Oh, that was so close there for Maloney in the wall. But he's managed to keep it off there. This is fantastic. Look at Maloney's K. Started dead last, and there's not a scratch on it. That is impressive.
Jordan Ross now leads by a second due to that fight between Maloney and Loxton. Sorry to everyone else in the field, but we're going to stay with this at the front because this is on. This is not over because Jordan Ross is limping this car home as well.
He certainly is. He's it's got no bonnet. Plenty of induction there. It's going to be
nice to worry about overheating.
That motor. Yeah, exactly, mate. That's the way to do it. You know, he's blowing a head gasket. Well, just rip the bonnet off it and away you go. But I reckon that Maloney, he's on a charge. That last lap you can't really tell because they were in a battle, but he's closing at a great rate of knots. We're now down to 0.7 of a second.
Six laps to go when they come up to complete this one, so not far to go. We've only got, out of our 41 starters, we've only got 25 cars left. Nearly half the field out of the race. Amazing how many drivers have had issues in this one.
Oh, it's a street circuit. Sorry, Ross, mate.
I was about to echo your comment there, Fonty.
There we go, yep. So, great minds think alike. So it is also great to have... hey, what are you laughing at there, Kennedy? I tell you what, mate, it's great to have Ross Rizzo in the box with us tonight. A true bit of experience. It's great to have
Jamie McKnight's coming back out on circuits. That's great to see him come back.
Yep, certainly
but
is.
a shame for his race.
It is a shame. It is a huge shame for Jamie's race. He's
on for a top 5, which is disastrous for him to have that. No, I'm going to guess that was actually due to the damage he had in the front of the car from earlier in the race, as opposed to actually a missed downshift.
Oh, Taliantis looking very racy on Jacob Knight. And Stephen Varga.
Here we go. I tell you what, we come here on a Friday night, and half the field are mostly filled with that LeBlanc blue and white. Plenty of drivers driving for Redback Racing Team, and they're doing a fantastic job. Really come a long way in the past sort of 6 months, haven't they, Jay?
They have. I think Varga actually as well. I think he may be fuel saving. Because he was the first to pit. Remember, he pitted on lap 11. We thought that might have been a little too early. So he's now probably struggling and fuel saving.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, and his pace has come a long way actually, is Varga. Yeah, he's a really good driver. So I think big things are to come for him as we're seeing him locking up there, and he's going to lose a spot here to this pursuit car.
Oh no, here comes the meme himself, Josh Nowak, and Nowak's going to get a move done here, I think. Won't take too long. Josh won't be saying that either.
He'll probably can't believe how well his race is going. Doing a remarkably good job.
He's the sort of driver that just knows how to keep it clean and keep it out of trouble. He just puts along at his own pace, doesn't necessarily have the outright pace, but just knows how to play strategy very well, knows how to keep himself clean and out of trouble. He did pit at the earliest possible point to make it home, which I think is a real key in these races. Pit as early as you can, and you're safe regardless of what happens with that safety car. Jordan Ross is pulling away from Jake Maloney as well.
Okay, so he's found another gear and he's pulling it. It's fantastic to see. I know that Jordan here will want to seal that title. Oh, as we're seeing a bit of a moment there for him, locking up that right front, I think it was. Got 0.7 of a second still separating those guys. And Josh Nowak looks like he's about to make a move on Varga.
Defensive move from Varga though to hold on.
Oh, it's a yeah, to get past someone who's defending on this track is a difficult task, isn't it, Ross?
Sorry, Mike was out for.
Oh, that's all right, mate. No worries. As we're seeing Noak, he's managed to get alongside there for Varga, but
did Maloney just hit the wall?
Oh, I'm gonna go back and have a quick little squiz at that one.
Did Maloney? If he did, it was a very, very light tap, but it could be enough.
Oh, I don't think it's gonna cause him any damage. Yeah, he did just touch it there, but I think he's gonna be okay.
4 laps to go, so not many chances for him to get this move done. He needs to try and find a way through. But Jordan Ross looks like he's in a good rhythm at the moment.
I'm amazed that damage on Jordan Ross's car isn't slowing him down at all.
Yeah, well, it just shows good driver. You know, he's generally can take you a little bit to kind of get used to a damaged car, but once you're used to it and can kind of adapt yourself to it, you can generally, maybe not as fast as what you can, but you can generally steer it around some corners all right.
Varga, Noah, Deer and Kidd all going at it. Not far as well behind is Jonathan Ben. So these guys going at it. Actually, Maloney through. Here we go. Side by side. And big slide for Maloney coming out of the hairpin.
Well, this is only pulling Loxton back into the mix now. Because I think Loxton's got the run. He's closing up at an incredible rate of knots. He's not going to chuck a move on. He's going to wait for a mistake on Maloney. I love those cars. These cars coming through that section of the track. Seeing them launch that left-hand side off the curb.
Something's happened to Josh Noak as well as he was in that fight there. May have actually left the circuit with a damaged car potentially.
We may have commentators cursed him.
It's alright.
Well, I did it to Christopher Kessie earlier, so sorry about that.
We all do it. I think we were saying the other week that for the first time in forever we actually picked race winners, because normally it's an absolute curse for us to pick you as a winner.
Yeah,
we
well, tricks and sports always seem to prove us wrong. When you know, myself and Reese at Bathurst, we said that you guys weren't in the hunt, that your pit stop was going to not work in your favour, and you completely turned it around. So yeah, that's just generally what happens in the commentary box. You're wrong.
Oh, here goes Maloney, cuts the corner a little bit to try and get a bit of extra drive out to shallow up the entry, but wasn't able to work in his favour. And Loxton probably with the advantage coming down the back straight. There'll be 2 to go when they cross the line. Not much left in this race. We end the round 14. There's only 3 races left to go in this championship after this one finishes. Phillip Island.
Oh, Deer and Varga. These guys going at it.
Varga's done a great job of defending him.
He has. He's done a fantastic job.
Loxton's right up on the tail of Maloney too.
Oh, come this last lap, I tell you what, it's going to be intense.
Matthew Deer's going to round him up around the outside down the straight.
Good move. So Deer's now up into 7th position. Good drive.
Oh, just seeing in the group chat there, Josh Noak not too happy with Stephen Varga. You see a little bit of contact there. Varga was defending very heavily, and those two have come together, so Noak very frustrated.
It is a trademark of Varga. He doesn't give up positions easily at all, so naturally battle of attrition unfortunately didn't play out well for Josh there, and it's a shame. He had a great race up to that. But looking at who's in 11th, you know, you're going to hate to admit who's in 11th.
Talking about the living meme himself, Simon Mazzomo, that's all he needs to be on the TV for. We'll go back to the leaders because it's on.
Maloney. Maloney's going to be, he's under all sorts of trouble here. Oh, look at this. It is closing up. We got that rear shot facing Loxton.
Coming up to the white flag as well. Oh, moving around.
Yeah, that would be, to be honest, that was a little bit interesting on Maloney's. Oh, wow, I tell you what, look at Loxton.
Slow down for Loxton.
That's it. Done.
Jonathan Ben side by side with Stephen Varga back in the field. This is the final lap of the race when these guys cross the line. Will Ben be able to get the move done? Will Varga hold on? Loxton's gone. It is on for the lead. We're going to go back to the front. Ben is through on Varga. Varga is very, very slow, about 40 kilometres an hour down on the front, on the back straight, I should say. But who's going to win this race?
Oh, look at Maloney is coming, and he's coming fast. We've seen him clip the wall once. That's the only bit of damage that we have seen him get. And he doesn't have long to do it. Look at that rear end of Jordan Ross car. He's struggling to get the power down. Don't know if he's got it in him. There's 0.4 of a second in it now. We are on the last lap. Round 14. Can't believe it. Round 14. We are nearly through this season, which is phenomenal.
Mazzomo's gone past Varga and Kidd and up into 9th position as well. But Maloney, this is his last chance to get a run. Oh no, Jordan Ross is run wide.
Oh, contact.
Oh no, Ross is going to get the drive.
But Maloney's going to get the draft and be closed right in on that rear. Coming into the final corner, Loxton's going to be fine and safe in 3rd position. Jordan Ross is going to defend though. Could Maloney go from last to first?
Oh, he's going to throw it in there.
Oh, there's contact!
Oh, wow.
Oh, they're going to run off the track.
Could Loxton win this race?
Because
they're going to have to slow down
first here.
Who's got that? Yeah, I think that's the right call from... Oh, Loxton could win this. No.
Maloney, Ross. Maloney's the winner.
Maloney, wow.
I think that's going to be looked at, to be honest.
I think it will be reviewed post-race as well.
Because that a little bit of a desperate move there from Maloney.
It was ambitious.
Last corner. Yep, very ambitious. But hey, great race either or, and we will let the stewards, race control, decide that decision. There'll be some frustrated people though after this event.
Looks like Varga has run out of fuel, unfortunately, bringing his great day to an end.
So officially at the line, it's a 1/10 of a second in favour of Jake Maloney, but yeah, I'm with you guys. I think that'll be reviewed post-race, and we could see a different result in the coming days. Looks like everyone has pretty much come across the line. Harley Haber has been able to bring that car home, even with that damage and that crabbing, which I think is a pretty impressive effort. He's 3 laps down, but he's still going to be able to bring it home. It will be in 26th position, but tough old race for him. He also got Eric Thorpe also coming home 1 lap down. Jamie Stovall will be the last driver on the lead lap, so 20 cars on the lead lap, 21 cars on the lead lap. That would be 20 cars actually, because Stephen Varga did not complete the final lap. It's been an amazing night of racing.
Oh, I tell you what, this series gets better every round. Every round we see it improve, and you know, tonight we've just seen Maloney come from dead last in the grid to come right up there. Will he manage to hold on to this race win though? That is the big question mark around that. But either way, great drive from him to move himself right up to the pointy end of the field. Also, good points there for Ross and for Loxton. All they need to do is finish, and there's nothing in it at the moment. So, you know, we still have a few rounds to go, not many, but it's going to go right to the wire.
It is. So Maloney is unofficially the race winner by 1/10 of a second. Jordan Ross in 2nd. Brett Loxton 3rd. David Kidman, good drive from him to finish in 4th. He's come a long way in the last few months, and he's improving each and every time out on the circuit. Jacob Knight in 5th. Michael Taliantich finishes in 6th. Matthew Deere in 7th. Jonathan Ben in 8th position. Somehow Simon Mazzomo's in 9th. Matthew Kidd rounds out the top 10.
There we go. Back to P11. Gavin Cox, well done to him. Sean Evans in 12th. Damien Johnston in 13th. Tony Gaffer, good result for him, 14th. Henry King. Now we saw Henry King was a huge part to play with this end result, I feel. There was some very intense battles going on in that closing stages of the race. And thanks to Henry, he tried to help his team out and certainly did do that. So well done to Henry, finishing 15th. Corey Ott will finish in 16th. Mark Samuel, Redback Racing Team Manager, he will finish in 17th. Jaden Borg, 18th. Mark Dale in 19th. And Jamie Stovold in 20th.
A whole heap of heartbreaks on this page. Stephen Varga running out of fuel after putting up the fight of his life, it looked like. Jamie McKnight with the unfortunate engine failure. Daniel Leet, Eric Thorpe, Adam Gardner, Harley Haber after winning the last 150. Couldn't replicate his luck this time around. Josh Nowak, that amazing run from 40th coming to an end 4 laps shy with contact with Matthew Deere and Stephen Varga. Then Scott O'Keefe, Kyle Stokes was battling for the lead early, and Chris Kessie, who had some great pace earlier, unfortunately DNF as well.
Also out of the race early on, Wayne Pengilly. Steve Jansen, who was doing a great job early on, he unfortunately did not finish, as well as Daniel Williams. Chris Barnes, Sean Thompson have some issues as well. Michael Hammond, strange DNF for him as well. David Miller, Mitchell Bales, Daniel Stevens, Danny Vassell and David Stanford also did not finish. We now move on to endurance mode. Once again, the next round will be at Phillip Island. 650 kilometres in length. That will be next Friday night here on SimSpeed TV. Next Friday night from 7:45 Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Of course, the broadcasts do not end here on SimSpeed TV. Sunday, we're going to do something very, very special. We're going to give someone a drive in a V8 supercar. Ponty, it's going to be awesome to actually give away a drive in a supercar. We've given away a drive in an Aussie racing car before, but to give away a drive in a supercar, that's a phenomenal prize.
Oh, it is phenomenal, yes. Big thanks to Aussie Driver Search and the guys over at Virtual Racing School. They do a fantastic job there at Virtual Racing School, and certainly if you don't part of what they're doing, you should certainly sign up and do it, because it's very, very beneficial. So yeah, it's going to be a great event. I'm certainly excited. I would like to have a drive of a V8 supercar myself, and I don't think I'll ever have a chance of winning this event on Sunday, but hey, you never know, mate. You know, there's always a time for me to shine. What do you reckon?
You're as retired as me, mate. You've got no hope.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Ross,
no, but either
way,
way,
you out on track in there. I believe you're going to have a crack.
Yeah, why not? Give a few cars a different taste and jump in the old Ford Falcon, which I don't think has been steered since maybe
2013.
Wow,
2013. Yeah, that was the old car I used to steer around quite a bit.
2013, 2014. Well, it was 2014 because
2014.
The first V8 Scop season was in that car, and then the final round swapped over to the new Commodore at Bathurst. So, yeah, 2014. So been a little while since the old girls come out. I actually know a few teams are going back to some retro liveries as well that they used to run on those cars. So cool to see some
yes, I've heard of some drivers.
Heard some teams that have seen some pictures of some drivers and some teams that have gone back to the old school team liveries. And there's going to be some surprises on a few cars where I'm not allowed to say too much, but pre-qualifying is underway right now if you would like to be a part of the Aussie Driver Search Sim 2 Supercar event on Sunday. Monday night, of course, we'll be back for the Monday night V8 Supercars, but we won't be at Montreal. We'll be at Zandvoort around the national circuit. First time the Supercars have raced there in 4 years around that layout. Now, I do remember the last time we had massive controversy at that circuit as well, so no doubt we'll see that again. Wednesday night, we will have the finale of the Porsche Super Cup from Bathurst, and as we said, next Friday night, we will be here for the Australian Online Supercar Championship. Thanks to LeBlanc and West End Mazda, it will be the second to last endurance round, the third to last round overall, the 650 from Phillip Island. Fonty, thanks for jumping in, and Ross, thank you for jumping in for the first time. I hope you've enjoyed yourself.
Yeah, a lot going on. I'd love to come back and hopefully do a better job next.
Oh, I think you did a great job, mate. But yes, thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. It's been another Friday night banter session here on SimSpeed TV. No, it's been great fun. Absolutely love this championship, love this track, and it only gets better and better. There'll be some heartbreaks after today, and certainly some controversy over that last corner pass there from Maloney. But from me, yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and of course, do subscribe to all of our social media. We are SimSpeed TV and SimSpeed Esports everywhere around on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Big thank you to the admins behind the scenes as well for the LeBLANC Australian Online Supercar Championship. Until next time at Phillip Island, we thank you for tuning in. We'll see you then.